So how do they distract us from talking about her record? They're accusing J.D. Vance of having sex with a couch. Not on a couch, with a couch. It's a weird thing to do.
It is weird.
And now they're calling him weird.
Yes, they are. And now they're calling him weird. I absolutely love that Jesse here knows his audience. He knows they're morons, right? So he has to walk them through each step of it. They weren't having sex on a couch like normal people. No, morons. Here, try to follow along. J.D. Vance was actually having sex with the couch.
And after Russia, COVID, and the Biden cover-up, America's seasoned vets by now. We don't buy the hoaxes and believe the hype anymore. Our eyes are wide open. And if you're going to accuse someone of having sex with a couch, you better have video.
You better have video. Now, look, I'm not an expert here with the intern sniffer, but I would say asking for the video of someone banging a couch is also kind of weird.
Trump is the new Adolf.
If it's your first time here, make sure you hit that like and subscribe. Keep us in the good algorithm. And let's get into this weird episode. The Republican Speaker of the House believes himself to be the second coming of Moses. Weird? Oh, no. That's not the weird part. He is so twisted and contorted in his radicalized version of Christianity that every time he spanks the monkey, anytime he chokes the chicken, anytime he flogs the dolphin.
Calling you weird, does that hurt your feelings? How do you feel about that?
No, not at all. It doesn't hurt my feelings.
No, not you, JD, not you. We've had enough of you this week. We're talking about the other weirdos. You say anything about dolphins and this dude comes running. Or maybe he runs coming. I don't know, one of those. I think it's the latter. This other weirdo right here, Mike Johnson, this religious zealot, he beats off, he rubs one out, and the first thing he does is text his kid, "Hey son, I beat off, here's what I beat off to." Then his kid does the same and sends his dad, "Hey dad, just rubbed one out, check it out, check out the jugs on this one." And it's not a stretch to see why normal people would think something like that would be weird. And honestly, I love that the normies are finally starting to tune in. They're starting to pay attention, right? People from back home in Utah, they're blowing up my DMs, asking me questions. Did Trump really say we won't have to vote anymore after 4 years? Yeah, it's about the 5th time he said it. My close friends who don't want to talk politics ever, they've started asking me questions. And it's so good for them to see how these radicalized people, Al-Qaeda, how they have warped the supposed Christian values. And they've used those to weaponize themselves in their positions of government. And now watching them contort themselves, right? Because that's all you're seeing right here. To try to sell you this Christo-fascist nation. I mean, let's be honest, Ladybugs Graham. If you want to know why he's called Ladybugs, just look that up. Ladybugs Graham. Lindsey Graham has been in the closet so long, so deep in the closet, he's fighting the Barbies that J.D. Vance was playing with when he was a kid, right? His only girlfriend has been this mustache. And I didn't even Photoshop that. Like, I didn't fix that at all. In fact, this came from that right-winger Juanita Broaddick. Broaddick? Oh, I think Lindsey's out of the closet now. Anytime you say Broaddick, he pokes his head out, looks around. Where's the Broaddick? Being a closeted man in the year 2024, just because the party you usurp your power from, you know, I would say it's not only weird, it's pathetic. The other Republican from South Carolina, I think South Carolina might be the Republican capital of weird. The other Republican there, I feel like I need a real estate agent every time this guy smiles, right? Just to look at it. He has a townhouse mouth, and I can see the entire second floor. Tim Scott was a 50-year-old virgin. You heard of the 40-year-old virgin? Well, Tim Scott was a 50-year-old virgin. Until he heard there was a chance he might be VP. Then he's like, oh, there's my penis. Guess what? I have this totally real girlfriend now, right? When you want to regulate women's bodies, when you want to tell them what kind of health care they could get, when you want to stand between them and their doctor, and you inject yourself and you're a 50-year-old virgin, in a word, That is weird. Wearing a beanie every place you go. Wearing a beanie in the shower. Wearing a beanie to match your khakis. Wearing a beanie to hang out with Roger Stone at a party because you are such an insecure little man that you don't want people to see you're bald. I mean, get over it, Tim. It's a little weird.
With the dictionary
one
definition
time,
of the word bigot.
He got his beanie taken off.
All right, have a good day.
Bro,
He's so mad.
you come near me ever again, you won't have any teeth. You understand that?
I understand.
Don't
I'm scared
touch
of a
me.
5'4" guy in capri pants.
You wanna know why I wear the hat? Yeah. So these can't recognize me when I'm on the street. You wanna take a picture of me so that I'm easily identifiable? There's no photos
Do
of
you
me.
know why I wear the hat?
You want
Do you know why I wear the hat? So these people don't recognize me. Tim Pool, who can't even go to a cocktail hour without his stupid beanie on, right? Tim Pool. This is one of 2 times I've seen him without the hat. He says, you can't take the hat off because that's how people recognize me. I mean, he could go undercover. No one would even know who he was if he took the beanie off. That's weird. Tim Pool's body issues are weird. Driving around in a car with a sex doll of a 78-year-old man, I would say, objectively, pretty weird.
But he wouldn't support monitoring pregnancies even if a state decided to do that.
Well, he's made it very clear that he's not going to go and weigh in and try to push various states and how they want to go in.
He's not going to stop any of that stuff.
And restrictions. That's going to be up to the state.
Kind of weird. Monitoring pregnancies, monitoring young girls' period cycles, right? From Trump's guy right here, this creeper, Jason Miller. Trump found guilty by a jury of his peers for sexual assault. Yeah, guilty. Trump busting in on underage girls during his pageants to try to sneak a peek. Donald Trump, who talks about his daughter like this.
Yet at times, his fatherly praise is downright cringeworthy, like on The View in 2006.
Cringeworthy or weird?
That if Ivanka weren't my daughter, perhaps I'd be dating her. You know?
Stop it! Oh, it's so weird. Stop. You know what? You are sick.
Yes, he is sick. Yes, that is weird. The View from 2007. I don't know when that was. The guy who goes on national television and talks about wanting to bang his daughter. And then, this balloon covered in pubes right here are saying they don't care if the state monitors young girls' menstrual cycles. Weird.
Using that term weird, by the way, we continue to point that out. Kamala HQ, that's her campaign on X, just put out 3 minutes ago. A quote from J.D. Vance of him saying, "I certainly would like abortion to be illegal nationally," unquote, from J.D. Vance. They quoted him on that, the Harris campaign, and calling it, "This is weird behavior." Weird, weird, weird. Everything about Vance is weird. Does Vance actually have a problem? And then how about the campaigning using that term weird for Republicans?
Forcing 10-year-olds to give birth to their rapist babies. Injecting yourself into situations that are none of your business about kids that aren't even yours. Yes, Newsmax guy number 4, whatever your name is, I would say that is weird.
Well, I think outside Jesse, most of us are weird.
Oh,
most of us, outside Jesse, most of us have a little bit of thing that's a little non-traditional. And I think by calling people weird, that'll make them more relatable.
Most of us are weird. We're all unique snowflakes here on Fox News. We all have our little quirks. Most of us are weird, Jesse. Beat off with our son weird? I don't know about that. 50-year-old virgin? Until you're about to be the VP weird? Most of us are weird. Trump sex doll weird? Drive around town with that? That kind of weird? Bang daughter weird? Is that what this guy's talking about? Is this what... I don't know. This guy's the morning guy, right? But he's sitting where Gutfield's supposed to be sitting. Is that your message to the world? Is that your unifying message? Most of us are weird. Most of us want to bang our daughters. That's why you're getting called weird.
Left is so bad. They're so unhappy. They're so pissed off. And by the way,
happy, Teddy, weirdo.
If you were a liberal woman and you had to sleep with those weenies, you'd be pissed too.
Weenies. How old's Ted Cruz? Like 50 years old? Still calling people weenies? Ted Cruz thinking about my sex life with my wife more than I've ever thought about him in my entire life is weird. And look, I'm not going to get into it. This is a lighter show altogether. But I have to say, Ted Cruz putting his podcast ratings, his power from this Republican Party over his LGBTQ daughter's mental health, his suicidal daughter. It's a little bit more than weird, all right? It's sociopathic. I was at the gym earlier today, and there was this chud on the treadmill. He had a Punisher shirt on with the Blue Lives Matter. This episode's not about that. In fact, there's an old Chad episode about that. I'll put it up for the members. So I'll put it up for the members. Look out for that. On how the Punisher feels about Blue Lives Matter. But that's not what this is about. But he had on his Blue Lives Matter t-shirt. He was going about 0.2 miles an hour on this treadmill, just sweating out the Arby's. And there in front of him was Fox News, right? The screen. And on the screen, giving his opinion, was Alan Dershowitz. Alan Dershowitz. Jeffrey Epstein's lawyer. Yes, that lawyer that kept Jeffrey Epstein out of jail for 20 plus years. Alan Dershowitz, yes, that Alan Dershowitz that received a massage from an underage girl at Jeffrey Epstein's mansion. But don't worry. Don't worry, Alan said he kept his underwear on the whole time, so it was definitely not weird. Alan Dershowitz, Trump's lawyer. Alan Dershowitz, I kept my underwear on. Jeffrey Epstein's lawyer. Donald Trump on Jeffrey Epstein's plane too many times to count. Jeffrey Epstein on Donald Trump's speed dial. Trump in a deposition with Epstein for raping an underage girl. This chud on the treadmill with his Punisher shirt on. Soaking this all in from this man. This I kept my underwear on. I would call it a little something more than weird, but since weird is what we're going through, these people are weirdos. Maybe for Jesse's next segment, he could explain to the masses how keeping your underwear on while getting a massage from an underage girl, this intern sniffer who left his wife for an 18-year-old, right? An 18-year-old intern. Maybe he can explain to the masses how keeping your underwear on in Jeffrey Epstein's mansion is not weird. And maybe this is a good thing. Maybe people like me have been trying too long to put the Republicans into some kind of context, Maybe this is the best way forward. Showing how demented they are, sexually deviant. How every single one of their loudest voices that come out and tell you how pious they are, how Christian they are. Mike Moses. Maybe this is the way to do it. Instead of spending so much time digging into it, looking for answers, maybe we should just point to them and say, yeah, you're weird. And this episode was going to be longer, but honestly, I cut it down because there's a spot from the Won't Pac Down that says a lot of this stuff. A lot better than me, maybe. Maybe not better than my episode, but it's pretty good. So I'm going to include it here as we close out the show. If you like this show, make sure you like and subscribe. If you've been here a while, hit that membership button if you want to see some of the old Chad videos like the one I was talking about. But I'm going to put this video up. One of my good friends, one of my best friends, he also colored this video. So thank you for being here. Thank you for watching the Chud Report.
Us MAGA Republicans banned abortion, but that's just the start.
That's just the start. If Trump gets elected, we want the government involved in all aspects of your sex life.
Way more involved.
Way more involved.
When you have sexual intercourse, it should be illegal to use contraception. No pills, no condoms.
Your genitals are reserved for procreation.
If you freeze 12 eggs, you should be required to have 12 babies, or else you're a serial killer. And I'm definitely not a serial killer.
Are you?
My son monitors my porn usage to make sure I'm not self-pleasuring.
Just like Speaker of the House Mike Johnson. That's true, you can look it up.
Don't you think that's normal?
Yeah, I do.
It's normal for your son to do that.
You should have a family member monitor your porn use too.
Because pleasuring yourself is very, very naughty.
I'm voting in November.
I'm voting in November.
We're all voting in November. Are you?
Because what happens in your bedroom is up to me.
Is up to me and my son. Also, mouth stuff is a sin.